And we're on. This is the Let's Talk Cheer podcast, and I'm your host, Jason Larkin, where we talk cheer, we talk life, and we talk whatever comes to mind. 5, 6, 7, 8, let's get started.
Turn it up, you tuning into Let's Talk Cheer with Jason Larkin. We're talking cheer, we're talking like you know we're always talking. So listen up, you boy, about to go all in. 5, 6, 7, 8, we're on, let's begin.
This is episode number 25. Not sure if there's going to be a 26. Actually, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a 26 because we've already recorded it. But anyway, thank you for joining. Great episode we have for you guys. Today we have on Jeff Miller, the executive director of the NACCC. Now, I know a lot of you old school cats know exactly what the NACCC is, but if you're new to the industry, this might be something brand new to you that you don't know. But Jeff and I are going to talk all about what the NACCC is, its goals, how coaches can get involved to help change the industry and make a positive impact here. But before we do that, right now is your opportunity to smash that like button. Literally right now, hit the like button, help support the channel, help this get out to as many people as possible, especially if you like the episode. And definitely if you're first time, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss episode number 26 or any other future episodes. But anyway, without further ado, my conversation with Jeff Miller. All right, guys. So today, as I said in the intro, we have Jeff Miller, the executive director of the NACCC. I'm sure lots of you coaches have heard the buzz about the NACCC coming back. And I'm sure all of you nosy parents want to know exactly what the NACCC is. So we have Jeff here, and he's going to tell us all about it, the things they've got going on in the works, and just, you know, kind of the future of the group. So Jeff, thanks for coming on, man.
Well, thank you for the invitation. This is very exciting for me to be able to introduce this to those people that are not aware of what the NACCC is. It's going to be a great day, and I'm looking forward to getting all the information out.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. I started seeing the questions on ASGA, and he's doing these FAQs. Now that's perfect. Like, people need to know like what it is, what's going on, that it's coming back, and what, you know, kind of the goals are for the NACCC. And I said, right, this is a perfect, you know, platform for that. Let's have him on the podcast. He can talk about it. We could share with our audience, and hopefully it gets the word, you know, out even more, and people can join, you know, the movement and you know, try to contribute. Yeah, for sure. And try to help, you know, we all got into this industry wanting to help athletes and wanting to see this industry become even better than what it is currently, right?
Absolutely.
So I think this is, you know, coaches who have their hearts in the right place. This is something that they should totally get involved in. But let's start with I'm stuck. Should we start with who is Jeff Miller, or should we start with what is the NACCC?
Let's start with the NACCC, because I really don't like talking about myself that much. But,
all right. So what is the NACCC?
NACCC, its origins are actually back from 2003. And there was 50 of us that were invited to Atlanta that to get together and figure out some issues that were going on with our industry. Back then.
And this is 50 coaches. 50
coaches or gym owners.
Yep.
And we met, and it wasn't like there was a whole, let's put it this way, there was no social media to get it out, anything else. It was by phone call, and we were invited, and I think everybody who was invited showed up. Mm-hmm. And the reason we met was the issues that were going on, and they weren't major issues, but made it difficult, was most event producers had their own score sheets.
Yep.
And had their own set of rules. Mm-hmm. So we were having to redo routines where you may have gotten first place at a competition on Sunday, but you had to completely redo your routine, whether because of legalities for your next competition or because the score sheet was completely different. You had to make changes. So obviously that would make it very difficult. because you imagine redoing your routine every single week.
And I remember I was an athlete at that time, 100% athlete at the time. And we would go from competition, and, you know, we're going to USA this weekend, and USA didn't allow double fulls. Like, so we had to take out all the double fulls, and, you know, and that's a simple change. But I mean, there was like pyramids and grips that we'd have to change when we went to, you know, this competition. And yeah, so I remember being an athlete having to change our routine, you know, based on what event we were going to, not to give us a competitive advantage, just to make sure that we were legal.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was, I mean, that not only was it difficult to change the routines, but also you're talking about safety issues when you're talking about changing the pyramids, changing your stunts, and you're only getting a week or two to redo those. So we got together, and that was our main focus. We did talk about a lot of different things, but that was our main focus.
And real quick, who's some of these other gym owners and coaches that are invited to?
Well, my wonderful wife, Diana, of course, was there with me, but Elaine Pascal, Jamie Parrish, Kristen and Victor Rosario.
So we have World Cup, Georgia All-Stars, Top Gun.
Top Gun. But it was a very diverse group of people. Those are the people that they were in charge at the time, and they were the ones who actually got us together. But we had gyms from all over the United States that literally from a call showed up. And it was a proud moment for us as gym owners and coaches that we could come together so quickly and sit down at a very large table, start rooting out the rules that we wanted, that we thought were going to be fair and appropriate for our industry. And those were tweaked by fantastic, intelligent experts. And by the end of the weekend, we did have event producers were invited. They weren't in on those kinds of conversations, but they were invited, and we introduced what we thought were the rules that we should have. And the great news is they adopted them. We at that point in time, it began basically one set of rules, and it obviously was a huge change for our industry and for all coaches and kids out there. So it was a great weekend. Very proud of it.
Yep. All right. So NACCC, what does it actually stand for? Well, what did it stand for the first time?
The first time, it was the National All-Star Cheer Coaches Congress.
There we go.
And just a little more background on that is it was started by the people that I was talking about earlier. And they ran it, but they were also trying to run that along with their own gyms, and it made it very difficult. So the USASF actually took it over back in 2012, I believe it was. And they did keep it going for a little bit, but ended up dissolving it at that point in time. So I have been in conversation with the USASF about releasing the name to us, and they were all for it. But after having conversations with coaches that and the way our long-term goals are, we have changed the acronym to North American Cheer Coaches Congress. The reason is eventually we want to, and I'm not going to be in charge of all these. That's not my long-term goal, but it would be great if we had an international Cheer Coaches Congress where we had a section from Canada, had a section from Australia, from England. But it also, it focuses on the people that we are want to pay attention to at the moment is our North American coaches. But we're also not looking at just All-Star anymore. We want to incorporate the high school coaches. We want to incorporate the college coaches. We want to incorporate the sport cheer, acro, and stunt, and get them all involved together. So because we do affect each other, and just that I can't wait to get everybody in the same room to see how much we can learn from each other.
Yeah.
So it's no longer just All-Star. we're bringing in all the cheer coaches.
There we go. All right. So I want to get to this question, but I got to go back to the original. Jeff Miller,
Okay.
Who are you, man?
Okay. I am a very blessed person is who I am.
There we go.
I was one of the neat little facts about me was I was at the very first cheer competition that had the words All-Star attached to it.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
It was October 1987. Lake Highlands High School, Dallas, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And back then there were no spring floors. We actually competed on the wood floor of the basketball court.
Yeah.
And I have been blessed to actually be in it from the beginning. And because of that, I've seen everything that our industry has gone through, good, bad, hard, easy, all those types of things.
Mm-hmm.
I met my wife through cheer, and we ran our business together. I've been coaching All-Star since 1987. I actually started coaching gymnastics back in 1980.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been a coach my whole life, and I wouldn't change it a bit. People do ask, well, then why'd you get away from the gym? I still love coaching. I will always be a coach, mm-hmm. but it was a time that a couple of my staff, they were ready to take over, and that was the perfect time for them and for mm-hmm. me. But a little about me, and these are the parts I really don't like talking about, is, I've received a few awards over the years.
Gym Owner of the Year,
I'm in
2010.
Gym Owner of the Year. I share that with my wife. That's why that one's very special to me. It's not the fact that I'm the Gym Owner of the Year, mm-hmm. is that we are the Gym Owners of the Year that year. It was a beautiful experience for both of us to be able to do that. I am part of the USASF Hall of Fame. I'm
there we
part
go.
of the CETA Hall of Fame. One of my favorite awards that I have is not really specific to me. It's specific mm-hmm. to my gym, is that we were the very first gym to win the, hold on one second.
Oh, he's going to grab it.
Yeah, it just happens to be sitting here.
Oh, this whole thing?
This whole thing. It's a paperweight at the moment. Yeah. It's the Chairman's Cup.
There we go.
It was the very first one, and it had to do with community service, mm-hmm. That a gym had gone above and beyond. And my gym that year, we raised, I think, $67,000 for cancer research, mm-hmm. For children's research, for a local charity called Heroes for Children. We had 58 athletes, moms, sisters, and friends cut their hair and donate it.
Okay, yeah.
At the end of the year, it was an amazing experience for me and for my gym. But that's one of the things I'm most proud of.
For sure.
But I've been top 25 most influential people a couple years. But all that means is I'm old, and that I've got to experience a lot. That's all that means.
Hey, it sounds like to me that you are an OG. So you there we go. That's what you have.
I am officially an OG. I think I'm the only one left from back that far back.
There you go. All right. But I mean, all seriousness, that means that you are the right person for this position, right? With the wisdom and experience that you have. And you might not say it, but I will say, I will say that with your wisdom and experience and being able to see things from your point of view and watching the way the industry has changed over the years, right, the perfect person for this position, and to try to guide, a couple new generations of coaches to kind of rally these voices together and make it cohesive. Goal. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know if I'm the perfect person, but I do have that wisdom. I've done everything in this industry. I started off as a small program. I had 12 kids. Of course, back then there was only one division. But 12 kids, that was it. Started my own program. That's when I actually worked for a gymnastics gym. But the next year I had started my program with 12 kids.
Yep.
And so I'm a small gym. I grew to a large gym, maxed out around 365 all-star athletes. And so I've been small, I've been large, I've judged nationally and internationally. And I actually ran my own competition for a while. And it was just a local competition, but we had 160 teams at it.
Yeah.
Did it at the Dallas Convention Center. And so I've seen it all. And like I said, I've just been lucky enough to be able to do that.
Yeah. There we go. All right. So the NACCC, I kind of said this before, but it's really a collection of coaches who, kind of put their input in on the industry and then say, hey, kind of, we would like the industry's going left right now and we want it to go right, or it's going right and we want it to go left. Is that kind of?
Yep. That's exactly what we want is I want the coaches. I mean, I have a whole bunch of ideas of what I want to do, but that's not my goal. My goal is to lead it where the coaches want it to go. And for that to happen, I have to have the coaches' input.
Yeah.
I have to have their opinions. I have to have their guidance. That is the most important thing to me, is knowing exactly, and I've been in contact with a lot of people over the past 6 weeks or so, and trying to get all that input. But the main thing is I'm not sure if this will come out before next week, but I'm getting together a meeting in September in Atlanta, that September 17th and 18th. The hotel deadline's next week, so I'm hoping everyone will see this beforehand. If not, that's okay. But I want as many people there as possible so that we can sit down together, discuss our goals, collaborate on our goals, argue over our goals if we need to. But in the end of that weekend, that we have a solid direction of where we want this group to go, where we want to influence. I have been working on something already because every person I've talked to, and there was so much on social media this past year. And when I put out an original survey, it all talked about judging transparency. And so I've been over the past couple of weeks talking with different event producers about judging transparency, what we would like to see. And I've gotten some really good feedback, but I've also gotten a lot of agreement with these companies that there's really only one little issue, and I knew it was going to be a small issue that they are concerned about. But I also knew that was going to be one of the things that we have to work through together as coaches and event producers.
So real quick, what exactly is judges transparency?
Judging transparency, what we're looking for is really how we got, not necessarily exactly how we got the score that we got, but more of, let's say, say you're at a 2-day competition. And on day one, at the end of the day, you've got your placement, you're sitting third. And you look at your scores look normal, you're good to go for the next day. Well, you wake up the next morning and then there's a new list out and you're suddenly fourth or fifth. And you don't know why. That someone's scores were changed. And most likely there's a good reason. I'm not saying there was anything bad going on behind the curtain or anything like that. It might have been that they didn't get credit for something that they threw or something like that. So I'm not saying that there's anything bad going on. But you don't know why you got pushed to fifth. It would be great that if we were informed, before the day started on day 2, hey, scoring has changed in the small junior 3. Here's the new order. The reason was this score and this score were changed because of this. Not that they were just changed, but why they were changed.
Yep.
Also, the one that was kind of, I knew would be a little bit of an issue would be the who is judging us. And we would like to know what are their credentials, those types of things. That is one of the bigger issues because number one, judging can change up to the last minute.
Yep.
You could have a panel set and somebody gets sick and it's completely, the panel's going to change. So that's obviously one of the issues. One of the issues that I have brought up is I'm more concerned that, believe it or not, there are some coaches out there that are not always reasonable. And if they find out that, Joe Smith is the judge that gave them a lower score on their stunt score than usual, and they decide to blame him, well, that's going to blow up the internet, or that person could blow up the internet. And so those are the issues there that I'm more concerned about. Other things that are involved with that, it would be a universal score sheet. That's a long-term goal, obviously. There are some people that are working on that, but the interesting thing is there's several different groups that want theirs to be the universal score sheet.
Don't we all?
That is, and my suggestion is mainly with them is when I see the people that are working on these score sheets, is they're highly knowledgeable people. I mean, I'm not saying anything different, and I mean, a lot of them are my friends, and they're brilliant people. But the universal score sheet that we need is one that works for mini level 1 all the way through the world's teams.
Yep.
And it's got to be something that's consistent, that we can all work with, that can offer all the different opportunities to the kids to grow. But that when we all, at the end of the day, we understand how we got our scores.
Yep.
And that we know that the next week that our score should be, if we have a similar routine, going to be very similar.
Yep.
There are groups that are out there that want to do a comparison scoring, that each week you're going to be compared directly to the person in your division. If that's the case, and I don't have a problem with that one. I don't have a problem with, really and truly, I don't have a problem with many of the score sheets that are out there. We're getting back to the little bit of the Wild West. I think there's 5 different score sheets this year. Different groups doing their own thing. And it, as long as it's consistent, I think that's the main thing.
Yeah.
But it's also, there are score sheets out there that are easy to do for the judge, but it doesn't offer a lot of creativity for the choreographers and the coaches.
Yep.
Which I would love to see added in. But like I said, that's my opinion, and I want the rest of the coaches' opinion. So it's not just about me.
For sure. Okay? And I'll say this as a coach. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I've said this as a coach on the podcast before. And you said it, not too long ago. What I'm looking for is a score sheet where I understand the score that I got. I understand how the judges got there. Yeah. And that when I compete the next weekend, it's a very similar score. Because with consistency, I'm able to make adjustments and put the team in a better position to succeed. Right.
Right.
But yeah, so anyway, but.
And there is one other little thing, and most of the competition companies do this one already, but evidently there's still some that aren't, is a scoring comparison summary at the end of the event, where not only do you know where you placed, but you know how you sat next to the other 4 teams, 5 teams in stunts, and so on and so forth.
And that's one of the most valuable things. I can't believe that some don't. I remember Spirit Sports was like the first one I saw doing it. And I was like, oh, this is so cool that I know where they beat me at. I see that they beat me in standing tumbling. Okay. And I guess we got to step up our standing tumbling when before it was just a score. I just know that they beat me by, a point or whatever. And I go, okay, well, I don't know where that point came from. So that's an awesome one.
And I mean, I'm amazed with you that people still aren't doing that. I think I don't have 100% proof, but I'm the first person that I know of that did it is when my wife and I did our competition. We're talking way back when we did this. And at the end of the competition, I brought all the coaches in and handed them a manila envelope. Now, this is how long ago it was. It's because emails weren't even, they were a thing, but not like they are now.
Yeah.
And I handed them a manila envelope with a printout, an Excel printout of everybody's scores at the competition. And, the way we ran our competition was we're coaches. What did we want to see at a competition we go to?
Yep.
And we did that. And that was one of the things way back when that, so that was the start of that. So, but that was 20 years ago. I really am amazed that people aren't, doing that. That's the easiest thing out there.
Yeah, for sure. There you go. So, NACCC starts 50 coaches. It gets absorbed by the USASF. USASF has it for a while. Then they kind of stopped running it, putting energy into it, or wherever the case may be. It's back now. So how does it come? What's the origins of it coming back?
Well, I guess this was back all the way in March. I was approached by Tate Chalk, and he was looking into because he thought that the NACCC was an amazing thing back in the day, even as the owner, president of Infinity. He saw all the great things that we did back then.
Yep.
And he wants to see the glory and amazement of what we used to be.
Yep.
Be achieved again. And so he had been going around interviewing different people, talking to different people, and to ask them, hey, do you want to do this? And they're like, no, I'm too busy. But if this is going to happen, you need to, evidently a bunch of them said, you need to get Jeff Miller.
Yep.
And thank you to all those people that suggested for Tate to contact me. So Tate contacted me, and we'd gone back and forth several times. And we decided that we definitely need to go forward with this. And just to be complete, honest, and transparent, since we expect our judges to be, Tate is funding this at the moment. He has no board seat. There's no one in the company that has a board seat. There's anything like that. He is strictly a financier, and he and I do have an agreement that it has to be run by the coaches. Straight up. Only coaches, only gym owners. And that's the way he wants it too. Matter of fact, he wants us to become so autonomous that he does not have to write a check.
Yep.
That's his goal. And his reasoning is when the coaches were in charge and we could influence our industry, that's when it was at its best. And he wants to bring that back.
Yep.
And he wants to see that free market system. He wants to see the gyms grow. And he knows that for our gyms to grow, the coaches and the gym owners need to be completely involved so we can steer the ship on how we can grow our business. So if our business grows, so will the EPs.
Yep.
So will the Infinity, Rebel, Varsity, they'll all grow.
Rising tide helps all ships.
If we grow, they grow. And that's But he is actually being very, very unselfish with this, but because he just wants to see us back in our glory days.
Yep. All right. So we have, and just to clear things up for our not as well versed in the audience. So Tate Chalk, owner, CEO, Infinity, right?
Yes.
I'm sure that most kids or lots of kids wear Infinity cheer shoes.
My daughter thought they were always magic.
Yeah, right. I need my Infinities. So we have right. So Infinity financing it right now. So NACCC is no longer a part of the USASF, being financed by Infinity, which is probably Varsity's biggest rival to cheer shoes, which leads me to your first FAQ.
Yeah.
Is this group an anti-varsity, anti-USASF group?
Absolutely not. This is not an anti-anybody group. Mm-hmm. This is a coach, gym owner, positivity group.
Yep.
There is that
pro industry.
It's for the industry. It's for our kids. There is no anti-anybody. For us to move forward, we have to be able to work together, not attacking any other group. And there are other groups out there right now that are trying to do different things, but it is, my suggestion to them would be, is you've got to focus on bringing everybody together. Mm-hmm. I've talked with so many people already about the transparency thing. Mm-hmm. And, I've had people ask, well, are you going to be making demands? I don't make demands. Mm-hmm. I have conversations with you about the changes that need to be made. And I want to hear the opinions of other people. Mm-hmm. Because you know what? I'm not perfect, but together we will be as a group. And it, like I said, it's not an anti-varsity, anti-USASF, and it's not a pro per company. It's pro coaches, pro kids.
Yep. There we go. All right. I know I've asked this question, or not asked. We have gone over this a couple of times. I want to give you the chance to answer it again, just in case there's something we left out. What are the goals for the NACCC? If there's anything that you left out as far as that is concerned.
Yeah, the main goals, my main goal is to, like I said, guide us where the coaches want us to go. Mm-hmm. That what we need as an industry is what's going to be the most important thing to me. Whether it is some of the things that have been brought up, obviously, is the judging transparency. Mm-hmm. There is athlete safety. There has been everything from integrity brought up that needs to be worked on. D1, D2 breakdowns. Mm-hmm. And just, you know what, let's come back to D1, D2 in just 1 second, because I do want to bring something up about that also. The rules, scoring, all these types of things that we want to be able to influence is our goals, but it's got to come from the coaches. That's why I need those coaches there at that meeting. That's what we are shooting for, is making our lives easier, to make the kids' life more enjoyable, mm-hmm. and to benefit everybody in the end.
Yep. There we go. All right. So what about this D1, D2 thing?
Someone had brought this up a couple different times, because, people have said, well, is this just going to be a D1 big gym organization? Mm-hmm. It can't be that way and us be successful. Mm-hmm. It's got to be a gym organization, not a large gym, not a small gym, not a micro gym, not a mega gym, a gym association.
Yep.
Now, people are like, well, I don't know if I'm going to come, because if it's just going to be a big gym thing. It only can be a big gym thing is if the small gyms don't show up.
Yep.
And vice versa. Mm-hmm. If only small gyms show up and the large gyms are upset about it, decision that was made by the group that was there, that's it's just the way the voting went. I mean,
for sure.
Voting's voting. In the end, whoever shows up to vote is probably going to win.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is not a large gym, small gym. It is a gym organization.
There we go. All right. So the meeting's coming up. Say the dates one more time. September
17th and 18th.
Yep.
If you're making plans to be there, we will start on Friday at 1:30 and we will end on Saturday by 5 p.m.
There we go. And where is it at? One more time.
They can make some flight information around that. We're staying at the Renaissance Waverly, beautiful hotel. Stayed there last week. We got a beautiful conference room, and but the hotel reservations have to be done by this Thursday.
Yep.
So,
and it's Atlanta?
It's in Atlanta.
There we go.
They need to contact me. They shouldn't, if they want to come and they are, if they call the Waverly, make sure that if they call it directly that they ask for our rate, because we got a really good rate for the coaches.
There we go.
So they just need to ask for it or email me and I'll get them all the information.
Okay. Last couple questions.
Yeah.
What needs to start, stop, and change in the industry?
Those are difficult questions to be honest with you, because there's so much that could go any direction. Okay. But the start is coaches take charge. The reason that we're doing this organization is we need to take charge of our own lives. We need to take charge and responsibility for our own gyms.
Responsibility is a key one.
That's a key one. Because you can always blame somebody else, but it's much easier. You're only going to get better when you quit looking to somebody else for your issues. And you're only going to get better when you take charge of your own issues and go forward with them and put them behind you.
100%.
So that's the main thing that needs to start for me. The main thing that needs to stop is there's got to be, I kind of touched on this a little bit already, is we got to quit taking sides. Mm-hmm. We can't, going back to the D1, D2, we can't be a D1 only gets this and D2 gets that. It's got to be one group.
Yep.
And when it comes down to even the event producers, there are some groups getting together, and I think that's fantastic that they're growing their businesses by bringing them all together. Mm-hmm. But there's also, it creates a little bit of a faction sometimes too. So if we can, as coaches, if we can help those event producers, whatever group it is, and let them know what we want and need, I think if we all got together on that, it's going to make life easier for them and easier for us. Because when we did the original rules for those event producers back in the day, they were thrilled to be able to take that. They didn't argue with us on it. They were thrilled because they knew we were going to be happy. Mm-hmm. And they didn't have the blame was off them.
One less thing they had to do, for sure.
One less thing they had to do. And it was easy for them because we literally handed them a stack of papers and it went forward from there. So really of course, the other thing that needs to stop, or I don't know, it needs to start. Let's use this as a start. We have to start our main focus on the kids, whether it is their training or their mental well-being and their safety. And I'm lucky enough to be good friends with a friend of mine over in England. Her name's Joey. She's one of the most amazing people, but she is basically in charge of the UK for children's safety in the cheer industry, and it affects it all the way throughout and the UK is so far ahead of us right now on athlete safety. It's ridiculous. And if you haven't talked with her, I'd be glad to introduce you to her. She's amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
But we've got to focus on those kinds of things. And you know what? When you're talking about mental health of these kids, yes, there are times you're going to get onto them, coaches, and that's okay. But if your go-to is yelling, you're not doing yourself a bit of good, and you're not doing your athlete a bit of good. Use that sparingly, and that's just from an old man talking. That's not that's not the NACCC executive director. That is an old man that's done it for a long time. So
what I've seen is coaches just need to develop more tools in their tool belt.
Absolutely, because every kid needs to be coached differently.
For sure, 100%.
Yep.
I feel like we spent most of this podcast doing this, but it is a question I ask to all of our guests.
Yes, sir.
But what is a rumor, myth, narrative that you feel needs to be debunked if we haven't debunked it already?
The main one I really wanted to debunk was the D1, D2 situation, that this is a coaches organization for everybody, not just one group. Because that's what I've gotten the most as of late, contacting people. That's the one. I just want to let every coach out there that I am here for them. We have an amazing, diverse. I think that cheerleading has the most amazing and most diverse set of coaches and athletes in the world.
Yeah, for sure.
And I am looking forward to representing every single one of them. And I hope they give me the opportunity. I hope they show up. I hope they contact me and let me do my best to help them. Yeah.
There we go. All right. So the conference is coming up here in September. Let's say coaches can't make it to the conference, but they want to get involved. How else can they get involved?
Main thing that they need to do involvement wise is just contact me. Because if they want to be a part of a committee, if they want to be a part of those types of things, and I can use them, I will use them. I had a coach earlier today saying, hey, I'm great at doing flyers and social media posts and all different things. And I'm like, wow, I could use that because I'm doing most of it right now by myself. And I'm really looking forward to get these committees and board members together.
For sure, right?
Yeah. And trust me, though, I'm enjoying it. It's first thing in the morning, last thing before I go to bed, but that's not a problem. I was a gym owner for years. That's how it's how you do it as a gym owner. And just if they want to get involved, they just need to contact me. And
where can they reach you at, Jeff?
I do have a Facebook page. It's brand new. We are working on our website at the moment. That's one thing I'm not doing personally. And that's a good thing because my background in that is 0 to none.
Right.
So it's being worked on, but it's not on the front burner for the person. They've got a lot of going on, and I don't blame them for not having it out. But it should be out soon. But the Facebook page is just NACCC members. That's all it is. It is a public group. I will be starting an NACCC private members that will be coaches only, coaches and gym owners only. So, I mean, if some of your fans out there that are parents, though, want to be on the other, absolutely. If they want to see what's going on, what we're working on, there's not a whole lot up there right now, but there should be more, especially after we go to this conference. There should be a lot more goals and direction. And if any of those parents, if they want to message me, I'll get back with them. It's all, I can't field questions of, well, I heard this person did this, things like that. But if they have a situation, I'll do my best to see what I can do to help them out.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right. So we have the Facebook pages coming up, and then do you want to share your email?
Absolutely.
There we go.
J Miller, JMILLER @NACCC.com.
There we go. Jeff,
Yeah.
you have been a fantastic guest.
I
Everyone make sure
appreciate
you
it,
get to the
Jason.
conference. Yeah, man, this is going to be great. And you're welcome back anytime to talk about any upcoming events, projects, or, anything we want to get the word out about.
That would be fantastic. I appreciate it, Jason. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Really
for sure.
a lot of fun. Thank you.
No, it's great. Can't wait. Again, another huge shout out to Jeff and the NACCC. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Again, coaches, if your heart is in the right place, be sure to get involved and let your voice be heard. We're here to make a positive impact on the industry. Shout out to Be More. Miss you tons. Can't wait to get you back. We have so much to catch up on. So if you miss Be More too, definitely subscribe so that you don't miss the next episode that she appears on. And you know what we do. 5, 6, 7, 8. We're out.